The Northern Territory of Australia is a vast, rugged country. Roaming the savanna woodlands and eucalyptus forests of the territory are the massive wild cattle of the outback, Asiatic water buffalo, the great sporting prize of the continent. Producer Dave Fulson is a hunter who has crisscrossed the globe many times in his quest for adventure, yet the continent of Australia, while always on his hunting radar, had so far remained an unexplored dream. There's adventure down under next, as we open the pages of Trigicon's World of Sports Afield.
Trigicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trigicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Leica Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Global Rescue, anytime, anywhere. The Wild Sheep Foundation. And by Les Chameaux, handcrafted since 1927.
This hunt, like so many of my favorite hunting trips have, started by attending the Dallas Safari Club convention in January in Dallas, Texas. The greatest outfitters and guides and operators from around the world show up in Dallas every year for the convention, and Matt Graham with Hunt Australia is one of those guys.
So we've been looking forward to this hunt with Dave and Jim for quite a while now, and I matched Dave up with Pete Harding, who's our head guide here at Gunga Concession, and I knew they'd have a lot of fun on the hunt.
What have you got there for your big game setup?
Pete, I've decided to bring a 375. This is the Ruger Hawkeye African 375, and we use a lot on safari. I mean, I've shot several Cape buffaloes with it. I got a lot of confidence in this 375, and I'm going to be shooting the Hornady, the DGX series, and that's just been a really good combination on our buffalo in Africa. But I know these are a little bit bigger animals.
For sure, a little bit, but then again, the old 300 grains and thereabouts of soft nose, they do a brilliant job.
Pete, that looks
right on the money.
That'll work for me if it'll work for you.
Certainly.
I tell you, this whole setup is just a good shooting setup. I got a lot of confidence in this rifle, and I'm sure we can get the job done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, very good. Made the trip in good shape. I think we're ready to hunt.
Can't go wrong with the Ruger.
Very good.
Now, when Matt and I were sitting down working out the details of my hunt, I asked who my professional hunter was going to be, and I had a guy in mind because everybody that I'd ever talked to had said, you need to hunt with Barefoot Pete Harding. Now, let me tell you what, Pete Harding is one of the most recognized names in all buffalo hunting circles. One of his trademarks is he hunts completely barefoot. He could take off across a pretty tough country barefooted and do just fine, but on top of that, Pete is truly one of the finest natural hunters it's ever been my pleasure to be in the bush with.
Yes, we just came across in the boat, and it'll save us a great big long drive around this billy bong, so we just had to come across the little lagoon from camp, and it's a big area and you can cover a lot of ground here.
We're about to get our first up-close look at the monster buffalo bulls of the Australian outback. Next, Trigicon's World of Sports Afield.
The Hunting Tradition, brought to you by Dallas Safari Club.
I'm Diana Rupp, Editor-in-Chief of Sports Afield magazine, with this week's installment of The Hunting Tradition. 100 years ago, in 1912, Holland and Holland of London introduced a new rifle cartridge called the .375 H&H Magnum. 100 years after its introduction, the .375 is still the most widely used dangerous game cartridge in Africa. With today's excellent bullets, it has all the penetration needed to kill every type of African game without the recoil caused by larger calibers. You can learn more about the hunting tradition in every issue of Sports Afield magazine and at sportsafield.com.
The Hunt Australia Buffalo concession is a huge piece of territory, and just getting around was a lot of fun. Every turn in the road is a new adventure, and you'll see buffalo. In fact, you'll see a lot of buffalo from the vehicle. Now, if a bull in the distance held promise, we would park and we'd get out and do a stalk, and if he was something we needed to get serious about, we would. But you're just going to see a lot of buffalo.
Go down on your knee, right hand side there.
Pete, how old is this bull? He looks like he's a pretty old guy.
Yeah, he's getting there. He'll be 15, 16. You can tell he's past his prime, but he's not too old. He isn't shrinking too much in the hips. So.
For a Texan, that looks like a pretty big buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice looking bull. Hey, beautiful. He's back to grazing.
Why don't we'll just move in front of these little sticks and things, go up to that next tree and we'll see if we can get a closer look.
Okay.
While he's still got his head down feeding.
Okay.
Just sneak around this tree here.
Very early into the hunt, I noticed that the water buffalo were not as wary as the African Cape buffalo. And there's probably a couple of reasons. The hunting pressure is almost nil, very little human contact, and they don't have to worry about large predators like lions. They actually seem to be more curious. Many times they would stop and give you a glance over their shoulder. Sometimes the big bulls stick their nose in the air and walk right in on you to get a better look at you. Each contact was, a little bit different, and of course different bulls had different moods, but generally they were fairly easy to approach, and sometimes they would approach you. But every now and then, an old bull would give a look and he'd take off, but you're always on the move, and it's a numbers game. Pete and I knew we had a lot of buffalo to look at, some big, some small. It's just you stay in the game until you find the right bull, and I was pretty confident with Barefoot Pete with me, we would find the bull.
We're now starting to get a little bit of a feel of what we're looking for. That's a big bull, but Pete says he's what they call a lunar bull. The horns kind of come up instead of the sweeper, which are really the traditional bulls most people, including old Dave, is looking for. Nobody'd have to apologize for that bull, but it's kind of a numbers game. You can see a lot of bulls out here, and it's just a matter of staying in the game until you see the one that your guide likes. And I'm gonna do what I always tell people. I'm gonna listen to my guide. When he tells me it's time, hey, we'll get busy, but shoot or not, that's really a thrill, I'll promise you.
When Trigicon's World of Sports Afield returns, I set my sights on a buffalo bull that's called me halfway around the world.
We come out this afternoon and we're going up a little river tributary that actually connects into the river that's right in front of our camp. But Pete just wanted to come in here. We're going to kind of walk up this little billabong here, and we're just checking for bull sign and tracks. And this is just a great thicket area, great place to maybe find a big bull.
We walked up one of these creeks one afternoon, and it was getting a bit late. It was coming on the prime time for finding bulls, and pulled the binoculars up and I saw one heavy old boy, and I knew that was the bull for Dave.
We've just come down, we've walked down a big creek. We've spotted a bull up here, and it's a serious bull. I don't know if it's our bull, but this is a very nice bull. We're gonna go try to get a close look with.
behind those trees. Oh, we go.
That, my friend, is wearing two Hornady GGXs. Well shot, Pete. Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. We have looked at a lot of buffalo bulls over the last 3 days, Peter.
Certainly have. A lot.
We were coming out here this afternoon. I think we've seen fewer buffaloes this afternoon than we've seen probably any afternoon. Had the camera curse this morning. Had a camera fry on us. We've just pretty much had a tough day.
Want a glitch?
You said, I want to go to an area we're not going to see a lot of bulls, but we may see a great big bull. And we just saw a great big bull.
I only needed one.
I guarantee you said that the other day. You said, hey, we see lots of bulls. We only need one. I think we got one.
Oh yeah, sure did. You shot the shit out of that.
Beautiful.
job. That's a huge bull.
That
There's your 14.
is a buffalo, boys. Peter, we got our buffalo.
Sure do.
How
And that's one to write home about.
about that?
Well done.
Let me tell you what. That buffalo did not come without some days of work. And maybe the hardest part about this hunt, Pete, is the number of bulls that we passed. And I mean, you never know. You can kill a big bull. The first buffalo you see may be the bull of your lifetime.
Could be.
Take a look at this guy. Look at him. Beautiful bases. Gosh, he's worn. How old is this bull?
Have to be. I mean, he's getting near the end of his days. Not too much in the teeth left, but just looking at that weight, you got 8 to 10 inches of weight right there. I mean, that's getting old. That's 16, 17 by the look of it.
Told Pete when we started the hunt, I said, you know, I'm not hunting inches. I wanna, you know, I'm really not worried about, you know, inches as much as I really want a big, heavy bull. If we can find a real old bull, that's what we tried to do on our Cape buffalo, and I wanted the same thing on the water buffalo. I just wanted an old guy with some mass. Means way more than inches to me, and I think, fortunately, he's got both.
Oh yeah, he's got that all right. Well, you might have been going for mass, but I like size as well.
I know you do.
Combo.
And I know most guys show up and they want to talk about inches. I want to talk about old, and I want to talk about big. And this is the textbook buffalo that I was dreaming about shooting. Pete, I could not be more happy. I just couldn't be more happy.
It's my pleasure.
And now, Inside the Hunt, brought to you by Hornady.
Displaying an important trophy like my buffalo is a matter that I take seriously. Wall space in my trophy room is getting pretty hard to find, but my friend Dan Catlin, general manager of the Wildlife Gallery in Blanchard, Michigan, had the perfect answer. Dan suggested a floor pedestal shoulder mount, which worked for me for several reasons. First, it allows a 360-degree view of the trophy, and it can easily be moved to different locations in your home as desired. Secondly, the base itself is, in my eyes, an extension of the trophy. Wildlife Gallery's custom woodshop and their habitat team created a beautiful pedestal complete with a map of Australia as the centerpiece. A floor pedestal is a great option when, like me, you're running just a little bit short on wall space.
One of the really attractive things about the Hunt Australia outfit is this area is so huge, and there's such a concentration of buffalo here that the hunter does have an option of taking a second bull. And since I was already here, very early I decided that was going to be what I was interested in doing. And I had told Pete after we got our first bull down that I wasn't ready to quit hunting. So, you know, we really just were going to sort through some bulls. If we saw a great management bull, we'd take it. But Pete said, if we see another really, really big bull, are you interested? And there was an easy question to answer. I said, you bet.
Dave, we've got a real nice burn. Burned it off about a month ago, starting to come away green. So we've seen some nice country back there, but nothing works like a burn. So we'll do a bit of an arc around here, get the wind in our favour, and work through it, see if we can find something on the outside of it.
The wind is definitely blowing this morning. All these clouds are coming in off the ocean, so I mean, yeah, we got a pretty steady wind. Yeah.
Keeping it cool for us as well. Keep the buffalo moving.
Let's see what we see.
Let's have a look-see. What a big bull, big bull. 200 yards straight ahead.
Okay, I see him.
Yeah, it's got a serious sweep. We're going to take a closer look on this thing. Let's move. The swing horn right there.
How about that?
That's a swing horn right there.
That guy came just walking. You called him, and he came right in.
Oh,
well, we spotted this bull. We were walking through a big burn up here. He said, "Let's stop, and I want to walk into this big burn." And we were kind of swinging around the outside, and he looked up and he said, "Hey, there's a bull." And nobody in Australia can discount a bull quicker than Pete. Now, believe me, today a lot of these old bulls look good, but Pete will say, this one's a little bit too short, this one needs 2 more years, this one needs to sweep back, this one needs to do this or that. He looked at this and said, come on now, let's go take a look at this thing right now. And I've learned with Pete, when Pete has even the slightest bit of excitement, you ought to be very excited, because he's probably looking at a bull. And this is, I'm telling you, a bull. Hey, this is a beaut. Hey, it's a beautiful, beautiful bull.
Absolutely. Serious spread right there, my man.
Let's go up and take a look at him.
Let's. Congratulations,
Peter,
my man.
What a bull.
Nicely done.
What a bull. Look at that guy. Hey, look at that guy.
Yep.
Well, you have the opportunity here with Hunt Australia to take a couple of bulls, and you can either take 2 trophy bulls or you can try to find a management bull. And we were really out this morning looking for either.
Anything goes.
The first opportunity that came by, we were gonna take them. But boy, this is an old guy, just absolutely. In Africa, we'd call this an old dogga boy, an old mud bull, and that's exactly where he's been. He's just absolutely caked with mud. But boy, we spotted him. Pete said, I want to walk into a burn and take a look. We did. This guy was on the very end. The wind was a little bit iffy.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you got us down where we had a little crosswind, and you started the, boy, I mean, he turned and just walked right at us.
Oh yeah.
We thought we were going to have about a 100-yard shot. We ended up with about a 30-yard shot,
Yeah.
which was just beautiful. This is just truly, you know, there's all kind of different hunts, and but some of them are just fun. You just go on a hunt every now and then that's just fun. It's a you know, certainly a dangerous game hunt, but it's you're going to see a lot of animals, and you're going to enjoy the company. And let me tell you what, this has been one of those hunts. I will definitely be back here again. But hey, what a beautiful bull! Hey, I couldn't be happier,
Sure
Pete.
is. Sure is.
You are the man, Barefoot Pete.
Congratulations.
You are the man.
Well done.
Trigicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trigicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, accurate, deadly, dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Leica Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Global Rescue, anytime, anywhere, the Wild Sheep Foundation, and by Les Chameaux, handcrafted since 1927. Closed captioning by Les Chameaux, available at orbis.com/Les Chameaux.